Welcome to Calming Harp, the sounds of David's Psalms. I'm glad you've joined us for this brief moment we share together. I will be playing some of the music that has been brought out of the Psalms. My name is Steve Rees. I play the harp, and over the last several years I've been bringing the sounds of David's Psalms into recordings. You can find a lot of my music on my website, www.calmingharp.com. I have CDs available and MP3s. And you can go to YouTube. If you go to YouTube and then type in Peregrinati, Peregrinnatti, you will find hours of beautiful harp music that you can just play in the background and be calmed with the music that David may have played for his sheep at one time or another. So as we share this half hour, join me and enjoy the sounds of David's harp. Well, good morning once again. It is the 3rd of December that I'm recording this, and this is number 97, so been at this about 2 years now. And it's been fun. I've enjoyed being with you all every week with some thoughts to share. And so once again this morning we'll share some thoughts, and it'd be wonderful if we could do this as a Zoom so you could share some of your thoughts back with me, because I find as I am out speaking with people around the country, I always receive incredible ideas listening to other people with their input and with their understandings. And so this is kind of difficult to be a one-way street here, but we'll do the best we can. Once again, I'm going to be coming out of the harp and cello album, which are highlighting some of the Psalms of Ascent. We're going to work with Psalm 129, 130, and 131. And then next week we'll finish it up through 134. And Psalm 129 starts out, greatly have they afflicted me from my youth. Let Israel now say, greatly have they afflicted me from my youth. Yet they have not prevailed against me. The plowers plowed upon my back, they made long their furrows. And Yahweh is righteous, he has cut the cords of the wicked. May all who hate Zion be put to shame and turned backward. Let them be like the grass on the housetops, which withers before it grows up, with which the reaper does not fill his hand, nor the binder sheaves his arms. In other words, there's no fruit, so they're not going to waste our time on them. And the final statements here are, nor do those who pass by say, the blessing of Yahweh be upon you. So we're not going to, they don't receive a blessing either. And these are people who are coming against the principles of our Heavenly Father. And this isn't just in the nation of Israel or the country of Israel as we know today. And I'm not talking about replacement theology, but I'm talking about Ezekiel chapter 36, or 37, where we are all brought together in the hand of our Heavenly Father, back into being one branch. So let me just lay that out a little more carefully. Israel is Israel, and the people who live in Israel today are predominantly Jewish, which would be from the tribe of Judah. And yet Ephraim was the northern kingdom that was dispersed through the whole earth. And so, and I know that there's disagreement over this, and I'm not going to get into it, but at the same time, I am going to say our Heavenly Father's plan has always been for all nations to be blessed through Israel, through Abraham's seed. He said to Abraham back in Genesis, through you and your seed will all the nations be blessed. And so that includes me here where I am in America, or you there who are in Australia or South Africa or Spain or Ireland or England or wherever you find yourself, France. And I don't want to list countries specifically because I'll probably forget somebody, and I don't want to leave anybody out because God doesn't want to leave anybody out. His promises is for all of us. And so the final word here is, we bless you, each of and me, in the name of Yahweh. He intends for us to receive blessing. So let's go to the music of Psalm 129, and Shirley's going to read this psalm much more beautifully than I just did, and then we'll carry on.
Many times they have persecuted me from my youth up. Let Israel now say, many times they have persecuted me from my youth up. Yet they have not prevailed against me. The plowers plowed upon my back, they lengthened their furrows. Yahuwah is righteous. He has cut in two the cords of the wicked. May all who hate Zion be put to shame and turned backward. Let them be like grass upon the housetops, which withers before it grows up. With which the reaper does not fill his hand, or the binder of sheaves his bosom. Nor do those who pass by say, the blessing of Yahuwah be upon you. We bless you in the name of Yahuwah.
We bless you in the name of Yahweh, Yahuwah, our Heavenly Father. And Psalm 130 starts out very interestingly. He says, out of the depths I cry out to you, O Yahweh. O Yahweh, hear my voice. Let my ears be attentive to the voice. Let your ears be attentive to the voice of my plea for mercy. And I'll be letting Shirley read the whole thing, but I just wanted to remind each of you and myself that our Heavenly Father is listening to the cry of our heart. As we see crazy things going on around us, as we see people throwing our Heavenly Father's instruction out the window because they're saying, "Oh, we don't have to do that," or even worse, we're not going to do that because we're going to go to our plans. We have a global plan for how we see things should be, and you all are going to be brought into submission to that. That is very troubling, and we're seeing a lot of that going on around us today. But once again, I have to sit here as I share with you that, and remind myself and you that our Heavenly Father said, "Fear not, do not be afraid." These things look fierce. They look like trouble. They look like they're going to win the day. But our Heavenly Father says, they're not. Don't worry. I've got this. You don't have to be afraid. Just trust in me. It was interesting. We were reading out of Galatians with Angus Butkin's morning devotional we go through, and he was using Paul's comparison between Ishmael and Isaac, the son of the flesh and the son of the promise, or the Spirit. And he reminded us that when Abraham and Sarah stopped trusting in God for what he had already promised that he would do for them, they developed their own natural plan in the flesh, and it caused a lot of trouble, even to the point that it's still part of the trouble that's going on today for God's children. And he posed the question, what would it have been if they had continued to trust God's promise and not gone to their own ideas and their own plans? And I would suggest, I know in my own life I've done that way too often. I get tired of waiting. Shirley, as we were reading, Shirley said, that's the big issue, isn't it? The waiting. And that is so true. We get so, what is the word I want to use? Anyway, we get messed up in the waiting process because we're going like, I think maybe God forgot. Maybe he's not going to do it after all. Maybe we better go ahead and come up with our own idea, our own plan. And at the end of the day, it turns out to be a big mess. I know it has been a big mess in my own life. And some of you, if you're honest with yourself, you would probably say the same of yourself as well. Let me just go ahead and go to the music of Psalm 130 and let Shirley read it beautifully as she does, and then we'll come back and take another look at some ideas.
Out of the depths I have cried to thee, O Yahuwah. Yahuwah, hear my voice. Let thine ears be attentive to the voice of my supplications. If thou, Yahuwah, should mark iniquities, O Yahuwah, who could stand? is forgiveness with thee, that thou mayest be feared. I wait for Yahuwah, my soul does wait, and in his word do I hope. My soul waits for Yahuwah, more than the watchman for the morning, indeed more than the watchman for the morning. O Israel, hope in Yahuwah. For with Yahuwah there is loving kindness, and with him is abundant redemption, and he will redeem Israel from all his iniquities.
I just love the way that John started that one out with this deep, and it sounded like out of the depths of my distress, I cry out to you. I could just hear, I think he interpreted it very well musically. And then the harp coming in with the little blink. Anyway, it was fun to work with John. The next psalm we're going to do, Psalm 131, is a very interesting psalm. David, he says, O Lord, my heart is not lifted up, my eyes are not raised too high. I do not occupy myself with things too great or too marvelous for me. But I have calmed and quieted my soul like a weaned child with its mother. Like a weaned child is my soul within me. O Israel, hope in Yahweh from this time forth and forevermore. This picture of the weaned child sitting on its mother's lap is kind of what I see there. A weaned child is not coming to its mother for food, for milk, for sustenance. It's coming for company, to just cuddle with mom, and maybe even there was something scary and they came and jumped on mom's lap for comfort. And I just see this as an amazing picture of our relationship with our Heavenly Father. That He is there for us all the time, just like this child who knows if something starts to come down that's not good or scary or whatever, they come running straight to mom, and they jump up on her lap, and mom takes her arms and wraps around and gives a little kiss on the forehead and a little or cheek or a little squeeze of comfort. And the child at that point knows that it's safe, that everything's okay. Mom's here and mom's got him and everything is good. And that is the picture David is trying to remind us of with our Heavenly Father. He is using this psalm in an amazing way to paint this picture of how our Heavenly Father is there for us in every circumstance. It's never in a healthy relationship, that mother and father, I could say as well, because sometimes fathers do some snuggling as well with the babies. But this picture is the mother. And one of the names for our Heavenly Father is El Shaddai, which is a feminine reference to our Heavenly Father. So you could even say, I'll try not to go into a discussion on this, but we could say our Heavenly Mother as well, because He's both for us. Our Heavenly Father, Mother is an amazing being that is everything we need in every circumstance for everything that comes up in our lives. And here David presents our Heavenly Father as essentially our Heavenly Mother, who sits there ready to receive us as we jump up on her lap and seek the comfort and cuddling and reassurance that everything's okay. Yeah, it might have been scary out there, whatever you were doing. You're playing and maybe you saw a snake, or maybe something, a bad neighbor or something walked by, or who knows. But our Heavenly Father is there to say, oh, you don't have to worry about that. I'm going to keep you safe. Don't worry about that. And I just think about all the crazy things going on in our world around us right now. And, you know, at times maybe we just need to jump up on our Father's lap and say, our Mother's lap, and say, I'm scared, or this is not good. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I need some reassurance that you're still in charge. And we jump up on the lap and we get the snuggle and we get the kiss and we get the soft words and we get the connection that lets us know everything is going to be just fine. And so I would encourage myself and you all listening to take time once in a while and jump up on your Heavenly Father, Mother's lap and receive that. So let's listen to that psalm as Shirley reads it and think about what it means, and then we'll have some final thoughts.
O Yahuwah, my heart is not proud, nor my eyes haughty. Nor do I involve myself in great matters, or in things too difficult for me. Surely I have composed and quieted my soul, like a weaned child rests against his mother. My soul is like a weaned child within me. O Israel, hope in Yahuwah from this time forth and forever.
So there is the calm assurance that everything is going to be just fine. I just want to underline that for each one of us, for you listening and for myself, that no matter what we find ourselves going through, no matter what the news, media, and everybody else is projecting towards us to try to make us fearful. The reality is that we don't need to be fearful. In fact, our Heavenly Father says, do not be fearful. He reminds us, I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of love and a sound mind. And that love is what is being expressed in this psalm, of that love of the mother who takes the child on her lap and reassures her that everything is just fine. I hope that picture has been painted indelibly in your mind as you've listened through this episode. Because if we can gain that confidence with our Heavenly Father, Mother, El Shaddai, Yahweh, we can walk on the face of this earth in the time that we've been allotted on it with the confidence and assurance that we are right in the middle of God's plan for our life. Remember, He did design us. He did bring us forth with a plan and a purpose, plans for good and not evil, plans for hope in a future. And as we walk this out, He will constantly come in ways that we can expect Him to show us that He is still in charge. So as you go out in your week, be blessed and know that He will sustain you. So I hope you've enjoyed our time together. Stay tuned, as I say. Little pun. I have many more songs to share with you. I have more to share about how this all comes together. And I pray that you will share and help people, especially those you see stressed, especially in these times that we're going through. Bring people to this calming and this peace and this rest that this beautiful music of the Psalms of David brings to each of our lives. Thank you for listening. Hope to see you next week. Many, many blessings to you all today.